Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, what is the most romantic city in America?
Also, everyone you know thinks you smell. Where do you go from here? And more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Isaiah, today is my wife's birthday.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. So happy birthday to her. And I was thinking about it today. And I don't know if anybody else has this birthday tradition, but with my wife, there's one thing I need to remember to do every year on her birthday. And it's not that difficult, but it is inconvenient. And that is, I have to remember to decorate the house with like birthday decorations before she wakes up.
What? You do that every year?
Every year. Now.
And is this the first year?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not the first year, but what I'm telling you is that I didn't know that that was a tradition for a few birthdays. It took me more than one birthday to learn.
Whose idea was this?
It's hers. It's how she grew up. Her mom, her parents would always, like, that was a thing. When it was somebody's birthday, before they woke up, house was decorated, birthday banner, balloons, other stuff. And so.
But she has to realize that, like, when she was waking up at like 8 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and her parents probably had plenty of time to do all that jazz.
Yeah.
You wake up at like 4:30 in the morning.
I know. So I have to wake up even earlier. And somebody might say, why don't you just stay up later than her? Are you joking me?
You're like, that's even worse.
You're joking me. I already wake up early, super early, and she stays up later than me anyways. So that'd be even more difficult than just waking up a few minutes early. So that's what I did today. And like I said, that it wasn't like the first time or two, the first birthday or two where I didn't know that was a thing. It wasn't like I'm leaving you, clearly, because we're still married. But it was like, how could you not? It was a big deal that I didn't do it. And so
that's wild.
Now I've learned.
You to do it.
I know, but I guess that's just what she always knew.
She's like, why wouldn't you? Doesn't everybody do this?
The only times her house wasn't decorated when it was her birthday was when she lived alone, I guess.
So did you do like balloons? Like what did you do this morning?
Today, banner and balloons. Several balloons, a banner that says happy birthday. I think that's enough. I think that's good enough. And
that's right.
Tonight, pizza. She's asked for pizza. We're getting pizza out. That's going to be exciting. Gifts. She's got some good gifts coming. So it's a good birthday. I did wake up. I was like, man, I don't like doing this part of it. But I was thinking, I'm very fortunate. I've got a good wife. Sounds like my wife. So happy birthday, Angela. She's not listening.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
Fears that I had as a child, and that was getting stuck in a trash truck before it compacts and crushes you. You ever think about that?
The only time I thought about that kind of thing was in Toy Story 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were almost burned.
I think that's where it comes from. I know Toy Story 3, and then I thought there's this other like weird British Christmas cartoon where it's a teddy bear that almost also gets stuck in a trash truck. And I think that's where the fear comes from. But then as you grow up, you're like, well, that would never actually happen. How? How would you get in there? And how would they not know? But then it just happened. A 60-year-old woman from Manchester, New Hampshire was just rescued recently from the back of a garbage truck. She survived being compacted 4 times. Some of the witnesses said all you heard was screaming. You just heard her screaming in agony. No. But she survived it. She made it out alive, which I don't understand how that's possible.
Well, it doesn't compact. Like, it doesn't completely squeeze, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe she just didn't get completely crushed. She just got a little crunched up.
Ooh. Oh, just the thought of like your bones and I hate it. Some amazing quotes from the story. Like this one guy, Matthew, said, "My kids are home from school and they're watching. I was like, girls, once you see her come out, I don't want you watching. You can watch her be compacted, but once they get her out of there,
Was this like
I don't want you to see the aftermath." Yeah,
this makes no sense.
People are gawking at this 60-year-old woman.
How did she end up in there?
That's a good question. They say that she was taking garbage out to the dumpster.
And it grabbed her?
And somehow she fell into the dumpster, so they don't know how long she was stuck in the dumpster before the garbage truck came and rescued her from the dumpster, but also put her in the back of the garbage truck. That part is unclear.
Well, that sounds like a horrible
It's a nightmare.
event.
And you also think about it, too. Not only are you getting crushed by a trash truck, you're also surrounded by trash. A little added bonus to add insult, literally add insult to injury.
See, this is another one of those times where if you are maybe an older folk, you always got to have that phone in your pocket.
Yeah.
Keep that phone on you.
Yeah. That's what I told my grandma.
You get stuck in the trash, in the dumpster,
Uh-huh.
then you can just make a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I would like to be helped out of the dumpster.
Uh-huh.
If you don't have your phone on you, then you're just yelling for help. And clearly your neighbors are not going to help you.
That's right. When the neighbors are just standing around with their kids watching instead of doing something. It's fortunate that the garbage truck driver eventually noticed that she was back there because he heard the screaming and he saw, I guess it has cameras too. And so he but not till he compacted her 4 times. And this is the best quote from the story, or the worst. So the fire department battalion chief said, 32 years, I've never seen anything like this in my whole career. But the driver of the dump truck said it's definitely not the first time it's happened to him. But
to him?
He's not the first time he's seen it.
What? He's a repeat offender.
Yeah.
Of crunching people.
One time, if this happens, you can excuse that. How are you to know? If you've had multiple incidences in your garbage truck career of crushing a person, whatever license you have, I feel should be taken away.
You got to pay a little bit more attention to that camera.
Turn down the music or
trash.
something. Yeah, you be able to hear people's cries for help before you crush them.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Today is all about Texas, and Isaiah has your useless knowledge question of the day.
It's National Texas Day.
How does Texas get a whole national day, by the way?
I'm sure every state probably gets a national day.
So?
This one's just bigger.
Yeah.
Because everything's bigger in Texas.
Of course it is.
And we're talking about something else that's big in Texas, and that's one of the mega regions of the U.S. There's only 11 of them. This one has a total population of 21 million. It's called the Texas Triangle. It's made up of the 4 major cities in Texas: Austin, Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, and San Antonio. Can you possibly name another mega region of the U.S.? You have 10 options.
10 options. A mega region. Probably Los Angeles, San Diego mega region.
Ooh, you're thinking of the Southern California mega region.
I am.
I'll give it to you.
Yes.
The thing about mega regions is there's usually a lot of cities that are in that, but 2 of the ones were Los Angeles, San Diego. That one's also made up of Las Vegas, Tijuana, Anaheim, Bakersfield, and many more.
Oh, I don't think I really understand how mega regions work then.
Oh, you should see the Great Lakes mega region goes all the way from Minnesota to Chicago, all the way over to Buffalo, includes Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, Detroit, Indianapolis, Louisville, and many others.
Louisville. Okay.
Goes all the way around. But there's a bunch of
right.
them. There's one in Florida, the Arizona Sun Corridor.
Yeah.
But none of them have the name like the Texas Triangle.
No, that's better.
All right, let's do some rapid fire. Do you know the most populous city in Texas?
Feels like a trick question. Oh, wait, Houston.
Correct.
Yeah.
Houston has a population of 2.3 million, which makes it the fourth most populous city in the whole U.S. of A.
It's a lot.
How about this one? Texas has over 75% of the total population of what country?
Austria.
I was looking for Canada. Texas's population makes up 75% of Canada's. It's that big.
Wow. It really is.
What about a popular soda drink that was invented in Texas in the 1880s by pharmacist Charles Alderton?
Oh, I got this. Dr. Pepper.
Correct.
Yeah.
Little Dr. P action.
Why didn't they call it? What was his name again?
Charles Alderton.
Why didn't they call it Dr. Alderton?
Or Dr. Charles.
Was Pepper his nickname, or
Maybe they called him Pepper. That's a way
Yeah.
cooler name than Charles.
or he named it after his cat,
Pepper.
who was a doctor?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And he called her Dr. Pepper.
That is your Texas themed useless knowledge.
You know what I learned?
What did you learn?
Texas is pretty big. It's pretty big.
I've never heard that before.
It's big, dude.
Yeah.
It's a
it
big
really opened
state.
my eyes.
A lot of people there.
Yeah, it sure is.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
A big change on TikTok today, where you might notice a bunch of music should be missing. Universal Music Group has failed to come to an agreement with TikTok, which has led to them going ahead and taking a bunch of their music off of TikTok entirely. That includes songs from, like, you're talking Universal, you're talking Taylor Swift, you're talking Drake. I mean, you're just talking Ariana Grande, just some of the biggest artists there are, and their songs are not going to be on TikTok anymore until a deal can be reached one day. They have a lot of reasons for it. Basically, they just don't feel like they're being fairly compensated for such, and they don't feel like it's worth it to them to keep the stuff on there. Isaiah, who do you think this is? Is this worse for Universal and all their artists, or worse for TikTok?
I think it's a mix of both, because obviously TikTok wants to have all those trendy songs on there for people to be able to use in videos and whatnot. But also for some of these artists, a lot of the recent really popular songs have been in part due to TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you think about some of the TikTok songs that have went viral and people have listened to because they found it on TikTok and it was a popular sound that people did a dance to or did a trend to, and all of a sudden the song kind of blew up. That'll be not great that Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny and Drake and Ariana Grande and all these others won't be able to put their songs on there to be able to blow up a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's a much bigger blow for Universal, even though they're really the ones that sounds like making the call, because you think, like, TikTok is not going to be any less popular because you can't add a Drake song to your TikTok. People will just find other songs. A lot of the popular songs, the popular sounds on TikTok, they aren't from the biggest artists in the world anyways. So people just find different things. They'll find different sea shanties and Creed remixes to put on there. That's what's popular. That stuff will keep on going. People will keep on using TikTok. But granted, for like Taylor Swift, or again, some of these bigger artists, it may not make as big of a deal. But overall, for Universal in general, you really got to think that how many people discover or get a song stuck in their head because of TikTok and then go listen to it on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, that now are not, and that's gonna drop the numbers.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I agree. I think for the artists, I think the artists are the ones losing out on this the most.
You think?
Because 100%. Because for them, if you think about some of these big name artists, even like Ariana Grande, like what was the last Ariana Grande song that came out that was really big?
Mm-hmm.
And you think about, it's not like they're obviously huge names, and they have successful songs, but artists come and go like pretty much nonstop. And so as quickly as you can become the most famous artist is the most quickly that 3 albums in a row, none of them are popular. And so one way to get your album popular, having a song on it go viral on TikTok and it being used in a dance. And even there were artists that came out and said that they were trying to make TikToky songs.
Mm-hmm.
They were like catchy for TikTok so that they would blow up on there. And then more people view your song. And so not being able to be a part of that app is not good for those artists.
Yeah. You know who else misses out too is TikTok users. Us. We're just caught in the middle. Caught in the middle. Now we can't put the songs we want possibly on our TikToks. So who's the real loser here? Us.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Now, it's no surprise, I should say, that with all the hype around Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, that many men have been flocking to barbershops as of late and asking for the Kelce cut. Trying to look like Travis Kelce, get the same haircut with the idea maybe that they'll also attract an international pop superstar. Like, that's the key.
Is that how it works?
Travis Kelce's success. Yes. What do you make of this, Isaiah? The Travis Kelce haircut trend.
I don't think that this is going to work to get your hands on a lady like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I assume.
Well, there's only one Taylor Swift.
Yeah, there's other things that go into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say it's a good haircut. I mean, he has like a low fade on the sides.
Yep.
And then buzzed up top. There's only certain people that can pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. You gotta have the right head shape for that.
Yeah.
Or else you're gonna come out looking really silly. And that's not a haircut that you can make look different than how you get it.
Yeah.
Once you buzz the top is buzzed. That's your hair.
You just got to be patient with that.
And that's gonna grow out. It's gonna take a long time to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't like it, it's not gonna look good for a while.
Be warned. Now, obviously, these aspirations is a lot to ask of just a simple haircut to, be the thing that changes your fortunes. So make sure your expectations are adjusted accordingly. I'll tell you who's got to be happy about this, though. Barbers. Because, to maintain this, you have to get this cut pretty frequently.
It looks really silly in the middle.
Yeah.
When you're between the buzz cut and however your hair was before, looks very silly.
Yeah.
I had one of my friends buzz his head this summer. That in-between period was not kind to him.
Yeah.
It was one of my more favorite periods. But for him, he did not like the in-between period. It gets to a point where it's just sticking straight up about a couple inches long.
Yeah.
And that was, yet again, my favorite part.
So it gets people into the barbershops. And you think about this too. How many times have you ever gone to a barber and you're like, you just don't know exactly what you want, or you don't know how to describe what you want? I've gone into barbershops and I've said, can you cut my hair like this person? And they're like, I don't know who that is. And it's not somebody obscure, but they don't know. Everybody knows. And different people have different, like, you could say, I want a haircut like Bryce Harper. What does that mean? He's got a lot of different hairs. I want a haircut like Chris Hemsworth. What does that mean? He's had different haircuts in his lifetime. If you go to your barber now, man or woman, everybody knows what Travis Kelce looks like right now because of the phenomenon that we're experiencing. So you can go and say, I want a haircut like Travis Kelce, and they're probably going to know what you're talking about, and they'll probably be able to do it.
Oh, Carl says, when I said only certain people can get this haircut and look good, he says all military raise their eyebrow. Carl, they've all gotten that haircut.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it looks good. But I would say,
if that was the key, just everybody having the same haircut.
That was.
How have we missed out on that for this long?
I know, you would think so. The buzz cut, the easiest cut in the book.
Yeah.
You just buzz the top. I could give you this haircut. Hudson could give me this haircut. Maybe you should go for the buzz.
I'm due for a haircut, actually, now that you mention it.
Why not the Travis Kelce? Get it before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Big Country, Tyler, if he mentioned this on his show earlier this week, but he had a flat tire. The word is out now. I've shared his secret, I guess. He had a flat tire. Isaiah, do you know how to change a flat tire?
I wouldn't want to do it. I have AAA.
Yeah. That's a good thing to have, actually. So you've never had to change a tire on your own?
I have helped my dad replace my brakes and switch my tires around and whatnot. But I have never had to change a tire on the side of a highway or something.
So
that sounds horrible.
In an emergency situation, you don't think you could do it?
I wouldn't attempt it.
Yeah. I've had it happen to me. I don't remember. How did this happen? I don't know. I'm with you. I would not want to have to put on the spare tire in an emergency, although I have had to do it at least once, and I'm trying to think of the other time because I know this is how bad I was the first time it happened, that I don't know why I was doing this, but the jack that you need to use to lift your car up, right, so that you can change the tire.
Yeah.
Somehow, instead of lifting the car up, it dented the bottom of the car.
Well, it sounds like you didn't have it in the right spot.
Yeah, I should
get it
say
on the frame,
so.
baby.
I'll say so. I just don't know because I know that was in my driveway, so I don't know why I was trying to jack the car up.
What did you
anyways.
have it on?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a powerful jack. I'll tell you that. But one thing you definitely don't want to do is try to learn how to change a tire on the fly on the side of the road in an emergency. You should probably practice. Maybe that's what I was doing. Maybe I was practicing in my driveway, trying to figure out how to change a tire in case the situation ever came up, because you don't want to have to do that. You don't want, that's not something you want to try to learn with a YouTube video on the side of the road somewhere. It's better to be prepared. It's better to know. You might, heck, if you've never done it before, you might go back to the back of your car. You might not even have a spare tire for all you know.
You might not even have a jack. You might not have any of the tools.
That's actually true. Actually, I don't even know. I know I have a tire. Do I have a jack? Not even.
Do you?
Not even sure. Not sure. I say all that to say this. There's some things that you need to be prepared for in life before they actually come your way. But how can you know? How can you actually be prepared for anything? I'll tell you. Jesus is a pretty good planner. Jesus is pretty good at getting you ready for stuff that's going to come your way later in life because he knows all about it. And so if you want to be prepared for whatever may come your way, the best thing you can do is start talking to God. Say, hey, Jesus, I want to be prepared. You know what's coming my way. I don't. I want to be ready. I want to have you to hold on to when the going gets tough. Jesus can be there for you, and he can get you ready before the going ever does get tough. You want to know more? Check out RadioU.com/free gift.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Valentine's Day is almost upon us. Isaiah, when you think of cities that you consider romantic, which cities come to mind?
I'm thinking Paris.
Paris is an obvious choice. After that, though,
there's no other one.
Yeah. Well, I have here a ranking of supposedly the most romantic cities in the United States heading into Valentine's Day. This ranking put forward by Eventbrite. Have you ever heard of Eventbrite?
I have. I went to events through Eventbrite.
Yeah. They calculated through all the cities in the U.S. which cities have the most Valentine's Day related events for lovers. And the cities that had the most, their ergo must be the most romantic cities in the U.S. And so number one, the most romantic city in America, according to Eventbrite, Baltimore, Maryland.
I think you could have named any city.
Uh-huh.
And I could have hit the crickets probably.
Oh, none of them you would have believed?
What makes Baltimore more romantic?
Well, they've got a lot of events for Valentine's Day.
Let's hear some of them.
A twerk fit class.
What was that?
You heard me.
What did he say?
Twerk fit class.
A twerk fit class.
That doesn't sound romantic at all.
For lovers. Also,
For lovers.
a pizza making lesson for lovers.
For lovers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it says lots of speed dating.
Oh, speed dating.
Yeah.
For lovers?
So you can find a lover. That's what makes Baltimore the most romantic city in America. They don't call it Charm City for nothing. They do also call it Pigtown. Number 2 on the list was Chicago, followed by Austin, Washington, D.C. So that's the love corridor right there between Baltimore and Washington. And then number 5, Denver.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever done any of those lover-esque things? Pizza making classes, pottery? People do paint and sip?
I don't think I have. I don't think.
You've never taken Angela to any of those?
No, that doesn't really feel. Not many of those things feel like things she would get real jazzed about.
Okay. Or is it you? Is it you that doesn't want to go?
I'd love to do a twerk fit class.
I'm sure that she would love to do a pizza making lesson for lovers
well,
with you. Maybe a painting class, pottery. There's so many different avenues. You haven't taken her to a single one?
You know what could be a problem for a lot of those is that her and I are very competitive, and so it wouldn't be like, let's make pottery together. It'd be like, who can make a better pottery?
Well, that's more fun.
Yeah.
That's way more
But
fun.
that's not very romantic to do that.
It's not romantic, but it's more fun.
Yeah. So you don't think any city in the United States is more romantic than another?
I think they've all probably have these things offered.
Mm-hmm. Baltimore just has more.
Baltimore just has the most.
Yeah.
So does that make it the most romantic? I don't know.
Do you think the real question is this an accurate way to determine the most romantic city?
I don't think it is, but I don't know how you even determine what is romantic anymore.
Yeah, who can say?
Like, can somebody say, is there people that would text in and would say, my husband is romantic? What would he have to do? What would this man have to conjure up for his wife or girlfriend to say this man is romantic? Like, if I asked Angela, would you say Hudson, he's a pretty romantic guy? What would she say?
Oh, definitely not.
She would say not.
Yeah, I fail at that. Maybe early on, but I've run out of ideas.
Oh, you just given up, haven't you?
You don't always have to agree with Isaiah to always disagree with Hudson. The Riot. Radio U.
First, it's time for our Thursday tradition. It's time for Choice Champions. Isaiah and I make the picks. You decide the champion. We have a theme. Today's theme, with Groundhog Day coming up tomorrow, is non-time off holidays. And I don't think we need to make any hard and fast rules. It's just holidays that people don't get time off for. Which ones are the best? Isaiah and I, snake draft style, are going to pick 3 each. Then it'll be up to you to decide which one of us picked the better team and which holidays we might have missed. Isaiah, you have the honors of the first pick.
I feel like this is a pretty obvious one.
Okay?
I'm going to go with Christmas Eve.
Ooh. I didn't even think about that one.
You didn't even consider good old Christmas Eve.
I did not.
I love Christmas Eve. One of my favorite holidays.
That's a good choice. No explanation needed. Sometimes Christmas Eve, can I say this? I'm helping your cause here. Better than Christmas.
It can be the build-up.
Yeah.
We love a good build-up around here.
We do. The anticipation. My first choice will be something much different, but very timely, and that is Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
Super Bowl Sunday has something for everybody. If you're a football fan, obviously, football. You're not a football fan? Oh, that's okay. There's commercials with star-studded celebrities. Oh, you don't like commercials?
Star-studded. I love it. I love it.
You don't like commercials? Oh, there's a halftime show. Oh, you don't like music? There's food. There's great food. What else? What are you longing for on Super Bowl Sunday? And even though you don't get time off for Super Bowl Sunday, you do usually have the day off unless you're a pizza maker. So I think no explanation. I think I rest my case on that. Now, I could double down, but I won't. I'll take Easter for the other one. Candy. Everybody's in like a good mood. You probably get a nice big meal. Obviously, the very important religious aspect of it. You go to church. Like, Easter, very significant. I've got Super Bowl and Easter. I think I've got a lot of bases covered there.
I like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow that up with Halloween. I love a good
Ooh,
Halloween.
Halloween was on my list.
I mean, needless to say, Halloween, great holiday, dressing up and whatnot, getting the candy. And there's also lots of fun Halloween parties. This year, I really started to like Halloween more because I decorated more, did more Halloween-y stuff, and just kind of the whole like scariness, starting to watch scary movies and being able to go to haunted houses and doing all that jazz. People eat that up.
Yeah, I like the Halloween season.
Yeah, the season of it's so good. And it's in the fall. My final one, I'm really torn here. I am waiting to the last second to pick, buying myself time. I'm going to go with your birthday. Your birthday is my final pick. I love a good birthday. People don't get their birthday off, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I would love to get my birthday off. But I'm going to go with my birthday. A birthday is a special day because of the festivities that follow. Like the weekend of your birthday, you usually have a birthday party. People come hang out with you. It's a day about you. Some people don't like that for me. I like a day about me, so I'll take my birthday.
I'm real torn here on this last one. Real torn.
You got some options. There's still some good ones left.
There's a lot of options. I actually had a long list of choices. Very torn. I'm going to go with my heart, even though it is kind of doubling down. But this actually I had ranked second, and that's the first day of March Madness. It is doubling down on the sports aspect, but the first day of March Madness is so exciting. There's the excitement, and there's just the knowledge that you and everyone else around you at work, you're not actually getting work done. So it feels almost like a day off. So in our non-time off holiday draft, choice champions, Isaiah, your team is
Christmas Eve, Halloween, and your birthday.
And I have Super Bowl Sunday, Easter, and March Madness. Which of us came up with a better team? And which ones did we miss? 8772, RadioU. We missed a lot, I'll say. I'll admit that right now. We'll find out what people are saying. Coming up next.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
In the midst of choice champions, today's draft, all about non-time off holidays in honor of Groundhog Day, which neither of us did wind up choosing. Isaiah, you had the first pick. Your team is
Christmas Eve, Halloween, and your birthday.
And my team is Super Bowl Sunday, Easter Sunday, and the first day of March Madness. The votes are coming in. Max says, I got to go with Isaiah on this one. He also says he works for the government, so he gets all the holidays off. Well, look at you. Also, Susanna says, love my birthday and don't particularly care about the Super Bowl or March Madness, so going with Mr. Isaiah.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that.
Todd says, I'm going with Isaiah, but you guys did miss St. Patrick's Day. Was St. Patrick's Day on your honorable mention list?
St. Patrick's Day was what I was between your birthday and St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
See, I almost leaned. I didn't know how much people like St. Patrick's Day. I love St. Patrick's Day because my brother's birthday always coincides with it every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's always the weekend of my brother's birthday. And so we always have really good time on St. Patty's Day. There's lots of stuff for us to do because we're celebrating a birthday and St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know if the normal person celebrated it that much.
Yeah, I don't know. I also think I like St. Patrick's Day more than most people. So it was an honorable mention, but I just didn't know. I also don't think that that's a widely enjoyed holiday by many. Switz says Hudson is disqualified. Super Bowl Sunday and March Madness are not holidays. I make the rules around here. I decide who's qualified. I decide who's qualified and not. What else is on your honorable mention list?
So I had St. Patty's Day was my first honorable mention. That one was coming right off the bench.
Likewise.
And then I followed that up with Cinco de Mayo.
That was my next choice as well.
I was right there because I also didn't know if everybody does something for that because my family would usually go to this Mexican restaurant that we really like for Cinco de Mayo. And I love a good Mexican restaurant.
It does feel for those two, St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo, that your enjoyment is possibly directly proportional to how much you like drinking.
It is.
For sure. Maybe Cinco de Mayo a little less because it does have the taco aspect, but you can have tacos any day of the week.
Some other ones that I didn't consider, but some people might. Obviously, right around the corner, we've got Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I thought that one too. There's a lot of positive things about Valentine's Day, but then I know there's a lot of people that just hate it. So, and I mean, I don't like Valentine's Day as much as March Madness. So
yeah, you're not a romantic. Yeah, we've gotten that. Also, another one that people would consider, maybe like a Black Friday or Cyber Monday.
I had Black Friday it was one of the final ones I crossed off.
If you're a big shopper, I could see those being a big one for you.
Or if you just know you always, even if it's not a time off holiday, you take time off for it. That's what I do.
Are we bad sons for not picking Mother's Day or Father's Day?
Ooh, yeah, we might be.
Two of my favorites.
We might be, yeah.
Two of my favorites.
Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Canada Day and Canadian Thanksgiving, although a lot of people get Canadian Thanksgiving off because it's also Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day. One more I wanted to add that's also timely, Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. Another one very directly tied to drinking, but also pancakes and donuts. And who doesn't like that?
You know something else?
And just a party vibe.
Yeah,
it's just
party
a
vibe.
fun day.
Another one that used to be a lot bigger than it is now, MLB's opening day.
That's right.
That used to be a big day. That would have been right there with the Super Bowl and March Madness for a lot of people. I miss when opening day was a little bit more hyped
like
up.
you'd get out of school, they wouldn't have school, and the games would start early. Yeah, now it doesn't feel like it quite has the gravitas that it used to, and that's unfortunate. That's Choice Champions. I win. It's Capital Kings.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
The news that revolves around, yet again, the Kelceys. But this time it's Jason, not Travis, that's making headlines. And I thought this would excite you particularly. Jason Kelce has said that he wants to resurrect a popular video game that rose to prominence in the late 90s. That game, Backyard Sports. He wants to bring back backyard baseball and football, and I don't know if they made other versions, but he wants to bring those back. How excited would you be now as an adult if Jason Kelce did this?
I loved the Backyard Sports. I played them all on the desktop, though.
Yeah.
On the computer.
Yeah, nobody plays computer game, but like there's either like serious computer games or you play on a console. There's not like this kind of game, I feel, anymore.
Yeah, not to this level. I loved the Backyard Baseball. I love the games. I also love Backyard Football. I played them on the computer. They also had them on like the Wii, on the PlayStation 2, on different consoles. But my favorite was always the desktop version. One of my favorite games of my childhood by far.
So to explain Backyard Sports to anybody who didn't grow up with it or has never played it, I played it very briefly, but it was not a game that I was in on like you were. But Backyard Sports is where like they were officially branded, right? Like they had the teams from the real NFL and the real MLB, but then you played as little cartoon children in the backyard. And then I guess I don't remember this.
They had some players.
They had some real players, yeah.
They had some like the big stars. Some of the versions didn't have the players. Some of them did. Like some of the Backyard Football I played had like Jerry Rice and Brett Favre and Steve Young that were all a part of it for Backyard Football. And I know that Backyard Baseball, I think the version that I played didn't have any of the MLB players, but I know that there were ones that did.
But of course, this I do remember that it had like different stadiums you could play in that were actually like backyard themed, like Playground Commons and Sandy Flats. And then what I definitely remember is like the different characters from the game.
They made it so great. The characters were the best part.
Like Pablo Sanchez.
Legendary.
So if he brings this back, how important to you would it be that they actually team up with the leagues and get the players or at least the logos involved? Or as long as they have Pablo Sanchez, you're good to go?
See, I think that they have to have the original characters. Pablo Sanchez, Pete Wheeler, all the good ones.
Pete Wheeler, yes.
Pete Wheeler, all of the original characters, Kenny Kawaguchi. And then it would be nice if they added in the newer players as well.
Yeah.
Add a new little touch to the game. If you added in, if it was the NFL, if you added in the Patrick Mahomeses and the Justin Jeffersons and all the great stars, that would be a bonus.
How silly would you feel playing?
I would not feel silly.
You wouldn't
silly
see it at all, even though it's all children.
See, I think all my friends would probably play too, so I wouldn't feel bad about it whatsoever.
It is real smart to bring it back now too, if he can do this, because just with so many other things from this time frame, the people who played it, like you, and to a lesser extent me, that grew up with it, now they're grown and have their own kids that could play it. And so it's like a parent and adult-child bonding thing. So,
Josh says, Pablo Sanchez, the GOAT, make it a phone game. I love a good phone game.
This is meant to be a phone game.
I love a good phone game.
Jason Kelsey, we're on board. I think if it was a phone game, even I would play.
Oh, I would for sure play.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
We're food fighting with the newest flavor of Oreos. Space Dunks is what they call them. I guess in honor of NASA. Isaiah, you have the package over there. Are you able to tell me what these are actually supposed to be?
I'm seeing 5 galactic designs in cosmic cream with popping candy.
What are the odds that I got 2 of the same design? I took 2. They're both the same.
They're pink and what is that, blue in the middle where the cream is?
Mm-hmm.
That's that cosmic cream.
That ought to be good. I'm hoping. I will say before we actually get into the eating portion that the packaging is very pretty.
Very cool.
It is cool. However, I don't know why that precludes them from making the peel off top with like the stickiness so that you can actually retrieve your Oreos and then reclose the package. They didn't do that.
It's not a resealable one?
It's not resealable.
Oh, that's the worst.
And it's really hard to slide the tray of Oreos in and out of it. So I not a fan of that. But we're going to judge them on their flavor. They get some marks on the prettiness factor.
What designs do you have? I've got what looks to be a shining star as well as a shooting star.
I got 2 of the same. They both appear to be like the space helmet.
Oh, got it.
With a little antenna on it. And then the pink cream is peeking out through the space
middle.
helmet. I don't know if it's meant to be like an alien in there or what that's supposed to be.
Well, let's give it a try.
Yeah, we'll try it first. No milk.
Do you? Okay, so you usually just go for the sandwich bite, huh?
To
get it all in
the
there.
first one.
Yeah.
And whatever this is good. Oh, popping candy.
Is it popping?
It's popping.
Yeah, it's popping for me.
Oh, these are popping. All right. I like that.
Let me try this is just a chocolate Oreo, huh?
I think so. I don't know. It's actually hard to say. And then I need some just only the cream.
Yeah, you gotta just try the cream straight up. The cream's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely popping. My mouth is popping.
Yeah, no, it's noticeable.
And I've only taken 1 bite.
I like how
it is like my mouth is popping. It's kind of shocking how much it's popping. Kind of scaring me.
A
how much
shocking
it's
amount of popping.
It's in the back of my throat. It's popping so much that I'm kind of having trouble speaking.
I wonder if you could hear it in the mic.
I can hear it in my ears. I don't know if the listeners can hear it popping so much, but goodness
the video's got to look ridiculous because I'm trying to open my mouth wide.
Why is my heart racing while this is popping like this? I haven't had popping candy in a while.
It's not dangerous.
It's like Pop Rocks. I don't know.
It's not dangerous. I still feel though. You're right. It just continues on popping.
It doesn't stop. It feels like it's on my uvula right now, and I don't really like it. I kind of hate it. It's freaking me out. I haven't even got to the icing yet. I'm going to try the icing, which is going to be all the pop, I think.
I just took all of the rest of the icing because I just want to see. I want to test if it's able to be heard in the microphone is what I really want to know.
Well, the The cream's good. It's popping so much. I can't even begin to describe the amount of pop
Is that?
that's happening right now.
It's so much. I don't think you can hear it in the mic. Okay. Time to do the dipping in the milk, which is going to activate the popping prematurely. It's going to prematurely
pop.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if I can handle.
Yeah, but maybe
any more
that'll
pop.
actually be positive. Maybe that'll be positive if the popping throws you.
It's throwing me so terribly right now. Let's
my
try it
gosh.
with the milk.
Dipping an Oreo in milk. So good.
So much better in milk.
How's the pop factor?
It's still popping.
It is still popping.
I
You can
hate
still
the
feel
popping.
it.
I hate it. I can't stand the popping.
I don't mind the popping.
I cannot stand it.
These are good.
They're
This is
good though.
This is a fun cookie.
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah. I give this, let me give it a rating right now. This is good. I have no complaints. No complaints. I am going to give it a 4.8. These are good.
Do you think it tastes like a normal Oreo?
It's pretty close. The cream is not the same, but it's pretty.
It's pretty darn close.
It's pretty close.
If you gave this to me with my eyes closed, I would be afraid because of all this popping in my mouth. But I would think it's the same as a regular Oreo. But it's good. I like it.
This is a mistake. Why did I just put this in my mouth?
You put that whole thing in there?
We got to wrap this up.
I would
Not
say
to talk with my mouth
I'm going to
full.
give this like a 4.2.
You would buy these even though you're
I would buy them even
scared
though
of the
this
popping.
popping is just so much. I would buy like a little pack. If I was at the gas station this morning, I stopped by the gas station. They have them in little packs there, so if you want to try it, if you want to get all hyped up for the afternoon.
Little packs.
Yeah, there's little packs. They've got little packs of them. And so I'd probably buy a little pack. I wouldn't buy a big pack of them, but I'd buy a little pack if I was looking for a snack at the gas station.
All right. That's all right. That's the Space Dunk Oreo food fight.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Now, this summer, not to be overlooked, is the Olympics happening in Paris, but also something that's coming soon is the Olympics, but with steroids. And I'm not talking about just the Olympics. I'm talking about the enhanced games, which have just happened to find a bunch of very, very wealthy investors to make them possible. And the enhanced games, the whole idea is it's like the Olympics, except steroid use is not frowned upon whatsoever. They don't even pretend to care if you use steroids. In fact, it's supported, it's encouraged. And so the whole idea will be setting records at the enhanced games, even though as far as Guinness is concerned, these records, as far as the world record books are concerned, these won't count.
And there's a big question mark. This is controversial here.
Yeah.
Obviously, steroids are illegal to use in the U.S.
Yeah.
Have been since 1990.
Uh-huh.
You think about for all of the Olympic athletes, because these people's performances, these superhumans with their steroid use, are going to be better. Could possibly be better than the Olympic athletes.
Now, that'll be interesting to find out.
Does that shine? Will that make the Olympic athletes upset? Because if these people who do this, who are all on steroids and are all running faster, jumping higher, lifting stronger, comparatively so to the Olympics, which are supposed to be, the Olympics are supposed to be the top-notch of top-notch athletes of the world. And there's a lot of pride in that. I could see the Olympics not taking kindly to this. I could also see the Olympic athletes not taking kindly to this either, because it's supposed to be like a spectacle.
Yeah.
Like when you watch, it's similar to like when you watch NFL football, the great thing about it is the highest level of football. Nowhere else is it higher. That's its whole thing. The Olympics' whole thing is that is the highest level of athleticism, the fastest, the strongest, the jumping of highest.
Yeah.
That is the highest level. And so if this could be a higher level than that because of the use of steroids, obviously it's going to make it a spectacle to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to make it exciting to watch. But is it wrong?
I mean, I've always had a tough time with steroids in sports because it is a kind of thing where I don't like it, but then to me, I understand the argument that athletes that have used steroids make of, well, I had to keep up with other people that were using steroids. And so if they could use it and get away with it, the only way I could compete is also doing it. But now it feels like that is less the case. However, I guess the question of this is, what is going to be the level of competition? Because if you're like, is the number one power lifter, you assume, still going to, would you say, probably compete in the Olympics versus this, unless there's a whole lot more money in this, because it's going to come down to money. And so then is like the 50th best power lifter on steroids better than the first best power lifter not on steroids? It will be interesting to see.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because then you think about like with the whole thing that happened in baseball where they were slamming home runs over and over and over again. Was anybody complaining about baseball when they were banging them out of the park like that? And that was exciting time.
That was a big time for baseball.
So
One of the best.
Yeah, so I would say for the Olympics that this could be something that they are not going to like this. They are not going to like this one bit.
But it doesn't have, a lot of the Olympics is the pageantry, though. Like a lot of people.
Tradition.
Yeah. So I think, obviously the Olympics still going to get more eyeballs. But yeah, if this draws some of the big athletes away, because there's more money here, there can be money here. And it depends on the sport too. Powerlifting was a horrible example because the 50th best powerlifter probably would be better than the first best powerlifter using steroids. But like when it comes to running, track and field stuff, like what are the other? And you know what? People really don't watch the Olympics for powerlifting. So it comes down to the swimming, the track and field. How will that be affected?
It's not going to overtake it this year.
Yeah.
But if they keep on doing this 10 years from now, this could be quite the threat.
I'm curious about all of it. I am.
Keep an eye at it.
Yeah.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, Radio U.
A woman in Turkey suing her husband. She's suing him because he didn't shower enough.
Sounds like my wife.
She claims that he rarely showered, smelled of sweat, and brushed his teeth only once or twice per week. So she filed for divorce, and she has now filed a lawsuit against him due to his lack of personal hygiene being really the main reason why things did not work out between them.
How long has this been going on?
But she said, I just keep seeing the word when it comes to showers. It just says rarely. However, she said, according to her, he would wear the same clothes for at least 5 days in a row. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is at least 3 days more than you should wear clothes in a row for. She said he constantly reeked of sweat. I guess that'll happen if you rarely shower.
Once every 7 to 10 days is crazy.
Yeah. And then think about this too. Remember, this is a court case. So witnesses were brought in to confirm these claims, including mutual acquaintances and even some of the husband's coworkers. Sir, do you swear and solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Yes. Did your coworker stink? Yes. Yes, he did.
Imagine, now for this guy, obviously they said only brush his teeth once or twice a week. Which causes his breath to smell unbearable, obviously. Imagine going to court and having like your friends, maybe family members, co-workers come in, all sit up there on the stand and say, this dude stinks. Like, is there a lower low than that right there? Like, if I was sitting in the courtroom and they brought you in and they were like, Hudson, did Isaiah smell bad in the studio with you? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, come on, Hud. Like, there's no way, right? You would have said something. Somebody would have said something. And you're like, yes, he stunk every day. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my, you're joking.
Yeah. Do you think all these people never said anything to him this whole time? And then the first he's learning about it is when he's getting sued.
There's no way his wife didn't say, like,
yeah,
you need, and imagine the day, the day that he went to court. He's never smelled better.
Oh, for sure.
He's got deodorant on. He showered that day. He's wearing cologne that he just recently bought.
Yep.
He is smelling
Aqua de Joe.
Crisp.
Yeah. You might be wondering, how much did this guy have to pay? Or did he? He did. The judge ruled he has to pay his wife what equates to $16,500.
Because he smelled bad?
Yep. That's what not showering could cost you. In Turkey, anyways.
Oh, goodness. That's an even more. Not only are all your friends, all your family, and all your coworkers telling you stink.
Yeah.
And just so you know, you're going back to your job on Monday where you're going to see everybody who just said you stunk. And then you got to pay your wife who just divorced you for stinking.
Yep.
Like $17K.
Now you're lonely and stinky and poorer than you were. And you know everybody around the office has at least some issue with you.
How do you circle back from that?
Yeah.
You know?
It does. You don't get much further down, much closer to rock bottom.
You got to quit your job. You might have to move.
Start on over. Start a new life.
Go somewhere else.
It's a wake-up call.
How
rarely do you have to shower before you can get sued?
I mean, I think as well, will this change his lifestyle? There's no way that he didn't know that he was showering and brushing his teeth less than everyone he knew. Like, that conversation's come up.
Yeah.
Like, I know that you have the shower conversation regularly. I know that you don't shower in the mornings. You shower at night.
Yeah.
I shower in the mornings. I'm not a night shower. Like, people talk about their bathing habits. And what was he talking about during those times? Yeah, I'm more of a Wednesday shower.
Yeah.
I'm not a night or morning guy. I'm more of a Tuesday.
Third Wednesday
Yeah.
of the month. Yeah. I don't think, if he hadn't changed his ways by now, I don't think he ever will.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on Radio U.
The question is, what is one restaurant, particularly a chain restaurant, that you wish was closer to you? And there's so many different angles you could take with this. But what is one restaurant you wish was closer? And we've gotten so many different answers. Josh, Chick-fil-A for sure. The truth about Chick-fil-A is it's not like McDonald's. There's not one in every neighborhood. And so you might have to drive several minutes to get to one. There's not even one in every town. And it's so good.
Where I grew up, Chick-fil-A was so far away that I never ate Chick-fil-A before I was like 20 years old. We would never go because it wasn't close at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't convenient, so it wasn't even on my radar of how good it was.
Regina says Zaxby's. She'd also like Moe's Southwest Grill. I've never been to Moe's.
You never been to Moe's?
I've never
is
been
good.
to Moe's.
Solid.
But she says the closest Moe's is like 45 minutes, whereas the closest Zaxby's is like 3 hours for her.
Yeah, Zaxby's, that's far away.
Zaxby's is good. If they ever bring it to my area, I'll be real pleased. Kristen, this is an interesting one. Olive Garden. She says the closest one currently to her, almost an hour away.
Yeah, Olive Garden's good.
Olive Garden, pretty solid. And you want those endless breadsticks. Jay simply says, I strongly considered this one. Whataburger.
Love a good Whataburger.
But then I thought, can I pick a place that I've never been to? I don't think.
You can't.
How could I do that?
Poser, you can't.
How could I do that?
You don't even know if you're going to like it.
But yeah, exactly. But Whataburger, it tempts me. I see like not commercials, but like videos on it and stuff. I see news stories. It looks good. I'm sure the Texans can't be wrong. Speaking of Texans, D, she says Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's.
Around here, we got Jimmy John's. We got all the Jimmy John's you could ask for, and then some. Let's see, what else do we have here? Susanna, she's taking a way different tactic with this. She says, I kind of wish there was a BB Bop within walking distance of my house, but then I would probably end up spending too much money there.
Walking distance is crazy.
And I know, I have an idea of where Susanna, I know there's BB Bops around. There's just not one within walking distance. Why not just put it in your house? Honestly.
I'd like a BB Bop in my basement.
Yeah.
I like what she's thinking with the walking.
Yeah.
Walking changes the game because it's so convenient. I love a good walk.
Yeah. Josh chimed back in on the Chick-fil-A. Somehow he lives 5 hours away from a Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
I don't know where he lives.
Oh, he says 9 hours away.
9 hours. Oh, I misread.
9 hours away.
Where do you live? Do you live in Canada, Josh?
We also had Mike call in, and he let us know the best burger in all of Ohio is in Cincinnati. It's called Ford's Garage, but he's in Columbus. So that's like an hour and a half from him. So he said Ford's Garage. he'd bring that up
I'll have
top.
to try that next time I'm in
In old
Cincinnati.
Cincy.
What is your answer? I know mine. I figured it out.
That's tough. I don't even know if there's something I would want. I would probably want I love Culver's. And there's a Culver's that's decently close to me, but it's never on the way to where I'm going. Like where it's at is in a direction that I would never go in.
Yeah.
It's probably about 15 to 20 minutes away, which isn't horrible, but I'm never over in that area of town ever. I haven't been to it in years. And so if I had a Culver's within like 5 or 10 minutes, I would go to Culver's all the time because I love that Butterburger.
By the way, Josh chimed in. He is in Canada.
Oh,
He says all the Chick-fil-A's in Canada are in Toronto.
well, no wonder.
I don't know. Fellow Canadian here. My answer, Cookout.
Ooh, Cookout.
Cookout is good. The closest Cookout is probably like 3 hours away or something.
Far away.
It's far away. It's south only, southeast U.S. only. Cookout, real good. Lots of different options. Pretty cheap from what I remember the time that I went. And it was good. The milkshake's good. And unless you're in the southeastern U.S., though, you're out of luck. So Cookout, although there was plenty of places I've never been that I was tempted to choose. Obviously, In-N-Out would be a good choice. I said Whataburger.
People would say Portillo's.
Portillo's.
People are a big fan of
For
Portillo's.
hot dog. Oh, that reminds me. Wiener Schnitzel. Never been there. You know, I'm a big hot dog guy. That would be an ideal place for me to have. I'm assuming, but I've never been there, so I can't choose it. Cookout it is. 8772 Radio U. If you've got a place, a chain restaurant you wish was closer to you, let us know.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.